Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Bisola. I'm a pro makeup artist. And in this video, listen, I'm not you I mean you can learn what I'm doing. I'm just putting makeup on. And this video is very much overdue. Okay? Um I'm going to be using the products that I got during if you guys hear any sounds, everybody's home. And when I want to film is when everybody wants to do something. Everybody's home. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought that fast. Oh, the video we're doing today is products that I got that I got during the Sephora sale. This video is long overdue. It was supposed to come out a couple of days after that. When I got my order, life happened. Um, and once that happened, there was a span of me being scheduled. Maybe I should do. I'm just gonna start doing my makeup with the said products. Everything y'all know me if you're not new here. It will be annotated on the screen. I don't know what side yet, but it will be there. It will be there. Okay. I'm using the you'll see the Anastasia brows. So this video it was due like a couple of days after my initial what I got when I showed you guys what I bought, and I just knew I was going to like film the video. That did not happen. And then I had 2 days off that I had from then till now. I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Um, one of the days I was like, oh, this is gonna be a perfect day. It was just me at home. I was going to rest. I really love this brow product. I've been using it since I got it. I really love it. Um, I was like, oh, I'm just going to rest. And when I wake up, I'll be fully energized. I won't have brain fog. I won't be so tired to where I don't know what I'm trying to say. I slept all day. I slept all day. I was so exhausted. I slept all day. So the next time that I had time off was my brother's birthday. And I was like, oh, I'm going to film this just, before we head out because we had plans to go out. My mom wanted to go shopping, so we were gonna go. Our plan was to go to Bloomingdale. She wanted to get a couple of bags, or maybe just a bag, and just check out the new stuff she has, or they have, in a couple of her favorite brands. She didn't really see anything new, and we had to rush because on our way there was an accident. So a drive that should have taken us, I would say 40 minutes or 35 minutes, took us 2 hours. There was an 18-wheeler that collapsed in the road, crashed into it was bad. I was like, oh my God. Anyway, we planned on doing that. When we got to the mall, we didn't even have enough time. She also wanted to replace this shawl that she's had for like a decade now. Um, and the only ones that I've seen is from like I'll annotate on the screen what it looks like. She's just had it and she said it's time to get a new one. I'll probably get it for her maybe for Mother's Day, which is real soon around the corner. Um, I will have to go to the store, but I also think it's out of season to get it for her. The only brands I know or that I've seen, so I know for a fact they have it, is Gucci and Louis Vuitton. So we shall see if I have any luck. Anyway, so do you think I had to put makeup? I had time to put on makeup that day? No, because from the time when we had our actual plans to I can't even see. I've had my glasses on all day, so now everything is a blur. That's why this mirror has to be close to me. I have one here, but this has to be close to me. Also, this video is gonna be just a chit chat. We got a lot to talk about. I really want to talk about Devil Wears Prada 2 because I have thoughts. This is my excuse to talk about that and then to use the products because all these products, I literally have not used any of them. Anyway, so that was a fail. And then the next time I was off after that, um, I had to clean the house. I had to clean my space. I had to clean just everything. So everything is like laundry is done. Everything is done. So I'm in a good space now because before that, I worked 6 days in a row. My job is very demanding. I'm yapping all the time. I'm talking all the time. There's no rest in between. It's very exhausting. So when I'm exhausted, like I am exhausted. So it's just something is going on with this brow. There's too much on here, and I love this. So we're gonna have to figure this out. My God. Anyway, the other time I was like, I was starting my day later, my work day later, and I was like, oh, I could film. My camera stopped working. And I was like, I'm not going to fix this camera because it would be the second time that I would be fixing it if I did get it fixed. And I was just, oh my God, what's going on with I don't like this brow. I'll fix I'll fix it in post. I'm kidding. I'm just gonna fix it with concealer. Anyway, the camera broke. I don't know what's wrong with it. I think it was whatever was wrong with it before. When I got it fixed, when I took it to, was it B&H? It was one of the places. I don't even remember. They told me, what's this? They told me like the motherboard. I really have two different brows going on right now. I'm gonna fix it. Anyway, they told me the motherboard of the camera was broken, so they fixed it. It would cost me like 350 or something like that. I should have just added to it and bought a new camera. So I got that fixed. And now a year and a half later, I don't move the camera. The camera doesn't go anywhere. I unplug everything so nothing is overheating. Literally, that camera is so protected. It don't move. I remove the battery. I make sure there's nothing in it to just give it any issue. And I just went to turn it on that day. I was like, oh, this would be my opportunity to be able to film this video and get it out the way. And because it's like the sale happened almost 3 weeks ago now, like what? I'm so late to the party. So I was like, I want to be able to get this video out and just talk about other things that I really got excited and picking up. Everything just failed me. It was like a back to back to back to back of things that I was just like, what's happening here? Anyway, so that's why this video is late, and I know I yapped. If you're new here, hi, I'm a yapper. And I feel like sometimes y'all be wanting 10-minute video and it takes me 2 hours to film this, and we're not doing that on this channel. Watch the whole thing. 1.5 speed. 1.75 if you nasty. Okay? But also I feel like we have lost the I mean, yes, we're not in person talking to each other, but I really enjoy, maybe it's just a me thing. I really, really enjoy longer videos. I enjoy when people are not rushing to get their point across. I just enjoy that from other content creators. So if you know other content creators, besides like a vlog, because I'll watch a long vlog, child, but I will. But if you know of any other content creators that are not just giving me like, because I know it takes them, maybe it's because I'm also a content creator. I know how long it takes to film the video and then you gotta edit it for a long time. I just like I love a long video. Um, yeah. Anyway, we're about to get into. I want to know what you guys thought and what your favorite part of the Met Gala was. That will also let you know to yesterday. This happened yesterday when the Met what your favorite look was or your favorite looks. I'll put a couple of mine on the screen. I just thought these people knocked it out the park. It's too many people to mention. Um, I also want to say for the people that complain about Eat the Rich, and every year people are always not complain about it because certainly we should. Um, but when they're always like the Met is the Hunger Games, it lets me know they don't understand the purpose of it. Like I understand people like, oh, people are dressing up. If it's not to support the art, what did you think it was for? I have a little personal connection. I'm gonna fix my brows later. It's just bothering me. This is much, much, much darker. I was going in. Anyway, I worked at the Met. I mean, this was a long time ago. The era I worked at the Met was when my first year was when we had the oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? Alexander McQueen exhibition. Um to when it was Prada's Schiaparelli exhibition. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. And then after that, I worked in corporate fashion where you see the behind the scenes of corporate of like fashion houses getting ready for that event. It's chaotic. Anyway, I just think people are always having they don't always get it. So every time a rich person is doing something in this economy, rightfully so, because y'all, we're living in the ghetto right now. Gas prices. That's why I don't know if I mentioned this to y'all, but when I get my next car, I already know what it's gonna be. I'm not doing nobody's gas car. I'm getting an electric. I'm plugging it in, charging, and going. The gas prices is disrespectfully just out of this world. We are going through it. So I understand where people possibly could be coming from. I'm going to start with my eyes. I'm going to use the Groundwork Blooming Romance palette from Danessa Myricks. I'm only going to use it as a base because this is what I was waiting for. Oh no, wrong wrong palette. Um this is why am I having such a hard time? Oh, this almost fell. Y'all know these little things. We always every time I get a palette, it's always in like luxury palettes too. We're always like, who uses it? My mom and people her age use it. This is Moonlight Dip. I'm gonna try to show you guys as best as I can. I don't have my glasses on, so I don't know if this is blurry. Jesus. I feel like it is. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm gonna put it on the screen. So that's what I'm gonna use. It's kind of like in the same color family, ish, with some colors here from the Danessa palette. So I think colors along here is what I'm gonna use as the base, and then I'm gonna try to use all the colors. But this is so pretty. Oh, so pretty. Anyway, yeah, so let me know who your favorite was. Tell me by their names. I want to know who did it for you or the people that did it for you at this year's Met Gala. Now, let's talk about I want to talk about Devil Wears Prada. So my thoughts are going to be all over the place. Okay, that didn't do what I thought it was gonna do for me. Um, I see the color showing up. This is also dried out. Uh-oh. Hmm. I'm pretty sure there's a learning curve to this. Anyway, my thoughts are gonna kind of be all over the place. I have a script, but even in my script, my thoughts are all over the place. I only saw this movie once. I always feel like I have a better grasp of what I'm talking about. I have another channel that I have not uploaded in like a year and a half. I just don't have the capacity to do that channel anymore. And then because it was a reaction channel, and the way I was doing a lot of K dramas and other shows I didn't really have too much problems with copyright issues, but the K drama, listen, CJE&M was coming for me. And I don't know how other reactor channels or reaction channels do it, but they were coming for me and a couple of other creators, actually a lot of creators. I'm not even gonna lie. And I have this channel. I have a full-time job. Editing for that channel for Patreon was easy. Editing for that channel for YouTube was a beast, and I just could not. I could not. And when I moved and moved here, like after my dad's passing, I just was like, I can't, I cannot handle another. It was just too much. I didn't want to have to fuss with the channel, so I didn't continue. But I still love. Maybe that's something we can do. Anything that's like beauty or fashiony, We could talk about the costumes and the makeup of certain shows. Maybe that could be something we can integrate here. But on that channel, I just couldn't uphold it. Anyway, so I was saying all of that to say I like to watch something twice or three times and get my notes together. I wonder if this is this is pulling more gold than I thought it would. Hmm. Is this a wet dry formula? I don't know if I remember. I don't know if I remember. Let's figure it out. Let me use this little spray. Actually, no. What was I saying? But anyway, the reason why my thoughts is going to be all over the place when it comes to this and in my notes is because I only watched it once at the movie theater, and this is all I remember feeling when I was watching it. I just was like, what's going on? So that's kind of what I wrote down, and I'm looking down at my laptop because I tried to print the I tried to print. Neither one of the printer, I ran out of ink. The other one, there's full ink, but it's saying it can't recognize it. Child, bye. I said I'm not I'm not gonna stress about this. Anyway, so I want to know if you guys have seen it. If you haven't seen it, child, this is gonna be a spoiler. Let me know what your thoughts are, how you liked it. Maybe you didn't like it. Maybe you like me. You're just like, this was meh. This is how I feel about it because the first one is such a classic. Oh my god. The first one for me, yeah, I think this is I'm just gonna use this as a wet dry formula because look at the color payoff for that compared to this. Anyway, I also didn't use eyeshadow primer, so I don't know if, well, no, because then this color would be fine. This is going on really, really, I'm not gonna lie, it's going on real smooth. Like, really smooth. Anyway, I, hold on, y'all, I'm having a brain fart. I actually really like this lots, but I wanna, hmm. Smells like an eggplant. I lost my train of thought on what I was trying to say. But if you haven't seen the movie, this is going to be a spoiler. I wanted to say that. So, I was going to say the first movie is a classic. It's a comfort movie for me. And before Black Panther came out, it was just the one movie where I could put on and clean the house. I could put on when I'm having a bad day. I don't know, I love the movie so much, as do a lot of us. And I just thought this movie fell very, very, very short from the first one. There's just it doesn't even hold a light nor a candle. It's the same thing. But this is blending beautifully, y'all. I'm gonna use the other two colors later, but I like that. What am I looking for? It doesn't hold a candle to the first one. Sorry if I'm doing a lot right now. I'm doing a lot. Anyway, I mentioned my other channel just to let y'all know that I like still doing reviews and talking about movies and talking about shows. I'm a cinephile, so is my brother, so we always talk about these things. That's kind of why I was like, oh, you know what? I could talk about this while I'm putting on my makeup that of a video I was supposed to have been done. Um, my brother is a writer, director to be, aspiring to be. That's the word. So we always, ooh, wasn't expecting that. We always enjoy talking about these things. A lot of the channels that we watch is very heavily cinema based. We watch a lot. Oh my God. I shouldn't have used that side. That's really wet. So we were just talking about it, and I was like, this is giving me the perfect excuse to talk about this movie on my channel because hello, I don't show y'all a lot. I don't think I ever even have, maybe once, but I don't really show my fashion side. I'm a fashion girl. The way I love makeup is the way I love fashion. I feel like a lot of the times they go hand in hand. I love it so much. I love it so much. I don't get to talk about it enough. I'm going to try my best to start integrating it in here in my vlogs and just all the things because I do want to make the channel better. I'm not consistent on my channel and I think that's what's holding me back. Not even I think I know that's what's holding me back. And I'm trying to figure it out, y'all. I'm trying to figure it out. Every time I feel like I have something down, life be like every like my last positioning in having everything written out, planning, I had to stop everything I was doing because my dad passed away and I moved. I wanted to be with my mom because when you've been with someone for so long, literally almost all your life, losing them, I don't know what that does to a person. And I was just like, it's a big house. I can't leave my mom in the house by herself. So my brother and I decided to move back, leaving New York. Anyway, back to the fashions. I feel like this movie, the marketing was better than the movie. I feel like the red carpets, events that they were doing everywhere, the marketing for like all the influencers were doing was better than the movie. This movie was just, let me tell you what I don't know if there's a lot I like. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if there's a lot. I feel like the red carpet fashions was better than what we got in the movie. I feel like the fashion in the movie didn't have time to breathe. We didn't have time to like really enjoy a fashion moment in the movie. I feel like in the first one, it was undeniable. Everything was like everything just had a moment to breathe. Whatever they were talking about in the moment had a moment to breathe. This movie did not have that. I do like how they establish Andy's still a writer. I just like how they establish her role, you know, in this, but she's already a likable protagonist. So it wasn't anything new. Her character didn't really change much. She still has this moral code about her. So I like that they kept um that aspect of the show. Why do I keep saying show? Y'all, I mean movie. If I keep saying show, chuck it to me being something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna come back to that Tom Ford pattern, but I really like it. I feel like it gives what people that like Tom Ford palettes. It's not gonna give you a Natasha Denona, a Pat McGrath, or Danessa. It's not gonna give you that. It never claimed to. It's kind of like Chanel eyeshadow palettes. You don't expect them to give you what Byredo is gonna give you. You know what I'm saying? But that blended really well, and I like it. My eyes pop a little bit. Anyway, um, I was saying I feel like the fashion in the movie, the style, it didn't have time to breathe. It was like this did not feel like a fashion movie to me. And I know that the first one, it didn't say it's a fashion movie, but it's a fashion movie. Hello? Let me let me get this eyeliner together. Okay. Now that I'm done with that eye. But like I said, we know the movie is very much a fashion movie. I just feel like we didn't get enough moment to enjoy and intake the looks. Like, ooh, that was a moment. In the first movie, I'm gonna obviously because this is a sequel, I'm gonna compare it a lot. Um, I feel like in the first movie we got a chance to like ooh ah like ooh I love this ooh, even with the cameos I was like oh my god, the first movie cameos was like this is great, but this was just like oh they just showed a bunch of influencers, and I'm gonna get to that point because I the way it was a lot of storylines that they started off with, and I was like oh I'm gonna like that, or I thought they were gonna do something with it and they didn't. Since I'm using a highlighter and the eyeshadow, I decided might as well use a Tom Ford, excuse me, foundation since the other stuff is also Tom Ford. Um, Shade and Illuminate. I think this movie is very forgettable. It didn't add anything that we. I just. I think it was very okay. It's it's very forgettable to me. Now I know there are people that enjoy it, and I don't want to say I hated it. It just was like, did y'all watch the first movie? Anyway, that's how I felt. I was like, did the writers, did y'all, were you not there for the first movie? Why is this? It just, I feel like this was a misstep to me. To me. Like I said, I know there are people that love this. Not me. Every time I thought that they were going to go deeper in the topic, they didn't. I did like the way they mentioned and talked about, or briefly talked about, like massive layoffs and how it affects everyone like almost immediately, and how it's just no matter how great you are at your job, no matter how much you contribute to the team, no matter how much just no matter how much you feel like you're amazing at your job, not even feel like that, you are amazing at your job, it could just be taken from you with mergers, with this company doing this, while the CEOs are getting paid quadruple, not even quadruple, like way more than that, than the rest of the company that's actually, in the office and working from home anywhere, doing what they need to do every day. But you as a CEO, you're getting paid 10 million, 30 million, 50 million a year, and some of your employees are laid off and some of them could barely cover their rent. Are you okay? I like that they touched on that, but I thought it was going to be deeper. Like I thought they were going to like it was the catalyst. My microphone. It was the catalyst for what how our story is driven, but like they didn't dive deep. Every time they brought up a topic that I thought this is really cool, this is interesting. I can't wait to see where they go. They go nowhere with it. They go nowhere with it. They're like Basola. Nobody told you to expect anything. They go nowhere with it. Um, I was just disappointed. So Andy kept talking about how Miranda has changed. Like she brought it up a couple of times, and almost everything I'm gonna talk about is how I just feel like they missed the mark, because everything that they like, the idea was there, the greatness of the idea was there, it just wasn't properly executed, in my opinion. Who am I? I'm just a girl on YouTube. These people have actual jobs, they're writers, they made this movie happen. Who am I? A girl with thoughts. Anyway, um I'm also writing my own show, but that's another, you know um it was just everything was surface level. So when Andy brought up Miranda has changed, and she kept trying to figure it out, like, y'all, nobody's talking about how she's changed. I was like, oh yeah, because we see her, to me, where I thought they were gonna show a little bit of something was because there was a softness that has now come across to me anyway. This is how I perceived it from Miranda. And I feel like it's because she now has a supportive husband or partner, should I say. I don't know if he was her husband. I think he was her husband. And she now still has two kids, two grown twins. She's a mom. She has a job. And the longer you're in something, you get to grow, you get to change. And I feel like her having a super, super, super supportive husband, the way they portrayed Kenneth Branagh being her husband in the show, was just like he was just a great husband. He was supportive of her. He didn't seem like her job was too much and so larger than life to where he starts to resent her. We didn't see any of that. Y'all, my camera stopped on me. Anyway, I did see that in the first movie that the husband, he was like, when something happened, he just was ready to like shut her out. We saw that she got the divorce when she was getting a divorce in that movie. He was leaving. It just like her husband now, Stuart, I think is his name. I don't even remember the name of half of these people. Um, he just seemed like a really, really nice, supportive husband. And I really like that they showed us him just seemingly being there for her. I don't know. There was just a softness to her. That's how I perceived it, like I said. And I like that Andy brought it up, but it seemed like nobody else noticed. Maybe because they've just been around her, especially with Nigel being around her this whole time. Maybe they didn't notice that there was a little bit of softness to her, but Andy brought it up. And I was like, oh, I thought they were going somewhere with that story. They just never really did anything with it. They talked about it and nothing happened. I was like, okay. Because I thought there was going to be like an important point, like she softened up and this is why this is happening to the company, or she softened up and the company's better for it. She softened up and not even softened up, just like different. And we could see she was different. She was a lot of her character in more ways than she was different, but there was, to me anyway, like I said, I have to keep saying to me because we movie is art and it's subjective and we perceive those things very, very differently. But that's just how I saw it. I didn't disagree with Andy. I was just like, girl, you're not wrong. She's different and nobody's saying it. I do wish they had showed us just a little bit. It wasn't needed. Just a little bit of the twins. I don't remember them showing that. But like I said, every time I try to do a review or something, I try to make sure I watch it twice so I know what I'm talking about. This wasn't the case for this. I'm not gonna go see it again. I'm not. I'm not interested. Um, so another thing in the topic of her being a changed person, there's a way to do something to give us laughs. And I don't think the way they did this was it for me. For me. For me. The concealers I used are not anything new. So the bronzer I'm gonna use it as a contour because it's supposed to be a contour and bronzer at the same time. Ooh, she's so pretty. Anyway, um, I'm gonna talk in a minute. Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to. So in her changing, when they showed us the bit of her hanging her coat, I think that scene could have been done better because from they've already established that from when we are experiencing this story. Oh, that blends beautifully, and I like the warmth it's giving me. Do you see it? Oh, and by the way, I have really, really big, is that what I want to call it? Big, in case you're new here, hyperpigmentation on my neck. You can see my chest, my face, the rest of my body is one color. My neck is much darker. If I'm going places, depending where I'm going, I take it all the way down. I'm not going nowhere today. So if you see that disconnect, that's what's happening. It's going to rectify itself, but I just wanted to let you know. Because usually when I'm watching certain videos and I see a disconnect, I'm like, please, sister, blend. So I'm a pro makeup artist. I know what I'm doing, y'all. But anyway, this is my first time. I really like this. I didn't mean to yell, but I like this. Hello? Oh my god. I can't wait to do a lot of blending. But I really like this. I like the warmth it's giving my skin. Anyway. When she was hanging her coat, that's what I told y'all this video was gonna be all over the place. I hope you're cleaning, you have a snack, you have something, because just enjoy the video. Okay, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. um, we've been established. Well, it has been established to us that this has been 15 years that passed. So when she's hanging her coat and they're like, "Oh, there's been a complaint that she just throws her coat to people and they hang it for her, blah blah blah, because it became an HR issue, blah blah blah." Um, when did she start hanging her coat again? Yesterday? Because the way she was fumbling with it, I was like, this is a grown, intelligent, capable woman. I know at the time it was like she couldn't be bothered to hang her coat. Doesn't mean she doesn't know how to. I'm sure almost every piece. And that's another thing I'm talking about. Her fashions in this movie was so boring. Anyway, but someone that is of that caliber, there's wearing really, really amazing designers. It's not just throwing her coat and fumbling it around the way she was hanging it. Like throwing it in the first movie, they were hanging her coat carefully after they caught it. But the way she was doing it, it was to show that she doesn't really hang her coat. But when did it start? A year ago? 5 years ago? A month ago? All of these dates still would have shown like after the first couple of days, you can hang your own coat. She don't hang her own coat in her house. That bit didn't make sense to me. I'm just like, there's a way to treat certain characters, but she's not dumb. She's not like this is a very intelligent, capable woman that loves fashion. That like she breathes it. And y'all think anything that she owns, she would just be fumbling with it in her closet like that, like she's a child that has never handled a coat before. I just thought that was so childlike. I was like, is anybody writer's room? Hello? And I feel like, when I come out with my show, anything that's amiss, people have every right to critique. I'm just a girl on the YouTubes. You see how I'm covering my I'm just a girl on the YouTubes, y'all. Anyway, I just thought that scene it made her so juvenile. Like this is not a kid. This is a full grown adult. And the way they just I don't know. I don't like the way they handled that scene to me. It just seemed like I understood what they were trying to do for me. It just didn't land. Fashion girls will never carelessly hang their coat like that. It's not a thing that we would do. I just don't think it's a thing we would do. Do I have new powder? We don't have new powders. But I do want to use this cream. I have 3 blushes here to use, I think. I've used this blush already, the Sephora collection one, and she's a banger love, so I won't put it on in this video, but really, really good. Really good. Really good. Really good. I haven't used the other color yet, but I still have this strawberry latte from Huda Beauty that I want to use, and then the Isamaya one. I know the background is washing it out. So I think I'm gonna do Isamaya. I also have the Tom Ford highlighter. Oh, when I returned the darker version of the bronzer, I picked up this because I never got to tell you guys. I picked up the 005 Sunlit Amber Glow from Dior Backstage. This I have one previous one before, but I felt like this was perfect. I don't know if this is. There you go for my complexion. Anyway, um, next to my grievances with this movie. The Sasha character that they introduced, they talked about her so grand. It's kind of like the way they talked about her was like she was giving a aura, let's say like someone like Beyonce, right? And in the way they were talking about how she doesn't do interviews, she hasn't done an interview in a long time, and if the magazine can get, ooh, that's a lot of powder. Y'all see it? I shouldn't have shaken it like that. But if the magazine can get um an interview with her, it would be great. And then to me, I felt like they treated her character in such a throwaway character just for us to get the outcome that we got. There was nothing about that would make us care. I'm like, hello, this is the Lucy Liu. Like we already have the Meryl Streep. We already have the Anne Hathaway. But like it's Lucy Liu. I don't know. It's just it was like, that's it? That's how we go get? I just thought she'd have more of a meaningful role to make us care about her. And I'll talk about that. Like, I'll touch on that subject later on how I just feel like they could have went about it. Another character I felt like was just so useless. We didn't need him. Was Andy's boyfriend. He didn't add anything to the story. And speaking of the boyfriend, in this era of, or not this era, that's not what I was gonna say. In this way of them introducing him to us, this apartment that Andy got, I'm gonna tell you right now, as a New Yorker, not anymore. Right now, she can't afford the apartment that they showed in the movie. Not on the salary she's making. I googled her position because I wanted to make sure I got it right. Of like, magazines, real life magazines. She cannot afford that apartment. Not on the salary she was making before, not on her new salary now. Because she just got to runway. In the high percentile, she would probably be making $150,000 if she had already been there for like a year. She just got there yesterday. And she's moving to a new apartment. The apartment she had, I don't remember. They never mentioned. Did they ever specify? I feel like I'm forgetting. But if the apartment right now that they showed us, if that was in Manhattan, it seemed like it was. Or if it was in Brooklyn, she can't afford it. She can't afford it. After taxes, she cannot afford that apartment. And I think stuff like this is why people romanticize New York City so much. First of all, I know Sex and the City did y'all in. She couldn't afford where she was living at either. Not with that job. But Andy absolutely could not afford this apartment that they bestowed upon her in this movie. And I know Lily was trying to get her to like get a new place, unless Andy has never really spent money on anything else and she's been looking for her dream apartment. And we know that's not the case because they were trying to get her to take this job or take the book deal or do whatever so she can afford the new apartment. But on her new salary, she cannot afford that apartment. The place, first of all, she cannot afford that apartment unless she moved to Jersey City, unless she was deep in Queens. But it looked like that was either Brooklyn or Manhattan. She can't afford an apartment. I want y'all to know that if you're not from New York City, I want you to know Andy cannot afford the apartment that they gave her. And the way to introduce her boyfriend, she wouldn't have been able to afford the apartment. I think Amari also didn't add anything because remember Amari's role was Andy's role. I just thought maybe her role would have been a little more oomph. It didn't give us that. It was just another fashion girl that would have killed to get the job, like they always say. Um, I think Charlie, the second assistant, we also didn't need his role. I think her assistant though we needed. It added a little bit of fun to it, and I like Amari as the character. I just wish they had done more. Also, I think Ashley Simone is like one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. Her, add her, Ryan Destiny, those two women. There's so much. Ryan Destiny, Kelly Rowland, Ashley Simone. What do you mean? What do you mean God just was like, you know what? Let me show off a little bit. Every time any of those three people I just mentioned come on my screen, cause what? People actually look like you? I'm surprised that Kelly Rowland is not the Black Barbie. What a stunner. Anyway, that's how I felt about the Amari role. I was just like, oh, I thought they were gonna do more with her character, like just elevated her more in a way. I don't know. But I like how every time Miranda said something, she was keeping her in check. Like, girl, you cannot say that. Why would you? She's still like unfiltered, and Amari's like, Miranda. But also, ah, this is what I mean when I say when Andy mentioned Miranda changing, the way what's her name? Amari was just like reeling her in, like you can't say that, you can't do this. Like Andy never got to speak to Miranda like that. Not really. Like anyway, that's what I mean about her softness. She's taking stuff that she would have just side eye. I'm like, girl, who are you talking to? You can't talk to me like that. Anyway, yeah. I just I thought she would have stood out more because she is the new Andy. Like, hello. But also, she was a little mean too. She was mean to Charlie. I didn't like that. It's 2026. You're correcting your boss on what they can't say, and you talking to Charlie like that? Hmm. So I want to say after Irv dying and all the stuff happened, we knew the son was gonna try to change the company. I thought it was gonna go two ways. I thought he was gonna like push more for everything to be social heavy, like everything is digital, 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 digital. But they went somewhere else with it. I was like, oh, okay, we're not gonna touch more on okay. Cool beans, cool. Not that I have. Maybe in another video because I really want to use this Isamaya blush and highlighter. But today I think I'm just gonna stick to the Tom Ford and the Huda Beauty because I really want to use this blush. I really want to use this and that highlighter. Anyway, I feel like there's something I'm missing because I'm yapping so much. Um yeah, I thought they were gonna go somewhere else with the story. Like he was gonna push heavily for like social media stars to take it. I don't know. It's just the landscape of things have changed so much. And I thought that was gonna add to the story. It didn't. And I mean I guess that's okay. But I thought he was just gonna be like, no, we gotta get more influencers because you know the way people complain that influencers are everywhere and that every time people complain that influencers are everywhere, they complain about women influencers. Anytime a woman is a women dominated space, oh, they love to complain. I don't see y'all complaining about the men influencers that collect watches that could buy a house. I don't see people complaining about the influencers that talk about cars, hypercars. As a girly that loves hypercars, I'm nerdy like that. I know y'all, some of y'all don't know, but I'm really, really nerdy. When it comes to like comic books, cars, just stuff like that. But I enjoy it so I know it's a male dominated space when they're talking about hypercars. Like the only person people could think about that's a woman that talks about cars is Supercar Blondie. No one really is dominating the space like that. But I don't see people complain about that. But here we go, showing up at F1 races or going to NASCAR, just going to things that people deem male dominated or that is male dominated, all of a sudden it's a problem. Just say you hate women and go. And I'm contouring because I think this is fun and it's just giving me a different look. Not because I hate my nose. My nose is really cute. Okay? I just want to do this. I'm not trying to change my features. Just adding a different kind of structure to my face. Anyway, and sometimes if I do want to emphasize like a cupid's bow, I'll do this. See, I was just making it look, it's giving it a little shadow. So my cupid's bow stands out a little more, and this just gives a little. Ha! Can you hear the Ninja accent coming out? Anyway, It's receding a little bit because it's created a shadow. So, and I'm squinting because I don't have my contacts or obviously my glasses on. And everything is a blur. That TV and my lens is far away from me. I look close, but the camera is far. Anyway, oh, I just want to side note. Let's put a pin in what we were talking about. Y'all, my very, 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 very Yoruba mom, you know what she's upstairs watching? She's on her third or fourth episode of Pursuit of Jade. Who got her to watching that? Me. I'm trying to convince everybody. You can't just only focus on one kind of cinema. You got to watch everything. I tried to reel my brother into K dramas because I've been watching K dramas for eons. And I watch modern C dramas, just not the fantasy one, because the fantasy ones, I'd be like, this is 45 episodes. Hello? What are we talking about in the show? What? So I started watching everything at a 1.5 speed because, listen, I still got work to do. I got things to do. So I've been watching a lot of the stuff on my commute, but my mom was like, recommend me something. So I recommended it to her. She's happy beside herself. I went to go get water earlier, y'all. She was on the couch. She's closer to the TV. Oh my God. If I go back upstairs, if she's sitting like that again, I'll take a picture so I can insert it here. It's actually very funny. She's invested immediately. But when this is the male lead and this is the female lead, sign me up. The casting directors knew what they were doing. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. Um, Emily. Emily did not evolve as a person. She evolved. How do I want to say this? I'm really excited to put this blush on. I hope it does not disappoint me. It does not disappoint me. Yes. And I love how this is going to be a very cohesive look because the color stories here is the same. I love that. Anyway, Emily evolved in status and not in personality, not as a person at all whatsoever. So I'll say in the end, she got what she deserved. This is another thing that kind of bothered me. It's like, I know what y'all are trying to do here. It's kind of the thing with the coat that I mentioned earlier. I know what they were trying to do, but I thought it was so juvenile in the way it was presented to us. After Homeboy took over, um, Irv's son, after he took over, and they were going to be cutting down on budgets, or yeah, budgets were going to be slashed, and they go on the plane to go to italy italy If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments somewhere, but I'm pretty sure it was Italy. I would know all these things if I watched it again and had my notes. Anyway, Miranda has been in this business and in this job for so long. She's rich. We're not stupid people. She's rich. She would not be flying economy. I was like, it was funny, and there's a way that I think they could have still done that scene where Miranda was not in economy with them. And I don't care if it was a last minute flight, if it was red eye, I don't care. It was such a juvenile way, not place. Oh my God, this blush is so beautiful. I need to put my brush down because I keep going in and applying and applying. But it's so beautiful. Yo, this is so pretty. There's absolutely no contrast between me, my shirt, and the background. My bad. And my camera settings is low. The ISO is so low. Anyway, um, I feel like she could have been in first class, right? She's rich enough to be in first class. Let's not play those games. Let's not play those games. She's been, let's say now, from when we met her, she had already been ahead and in charge of runway. And now it's 15 years later and she's still in charge. That lady got money. Let's not do stupid things. So let's say they slashed the budgets the money could have still been used for the other people to be in economy that's going to Italy with her, and she would have still been in first class. I think a bit that they could have done for her still being in first class is like she's in first class, and the rest of the people, the way they struggled, they still had to struggle to be in economy because they're probably used to be in first class with her, getting her stuff, her wine, her champagne, her this, her that. Taking notes while she's telling them something on the flight from the US to Milan to wherever they're going for fashion week or traveling for work. I think the bit would have been funnier to me if she was in first class and everybody's taking their seat or they're struggling to take their seat. And she looks back at them like, well, obviously, I would not be back there with y'all. I think that would have been so much fun because of her status still giving us the Miranda we know, like watching them struggle. And she's like, the budgets are cut. It ain't that cut for me. I don't know. That's just what I think. Just I really like this. Oh my god. Do I want to do Let me see what the bridal one will look like here. I really like this blush palette. Shit. Yeah, it's a love. It's a love for me. Let me just blend so I can keep yapping. If you're liking this video, don't forget to thumbs up, like it, hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up so other people can see my video. I think the Benji character was a parody and a caricature of Elon Musk. I feel like the only people that like Elon Musk are people that want to socially climb, like Emily. Next, I'm going to use. This is so stunning. Hello, don't play me. I think I have to. Every time I do this, I just have to. I hope you've seen the true color. If not, I'll try to annotate it on the screen. I think this is what I want to use. But first, I'm going to set my face. And I think I want to use lashes. We still got to get our brows together. Because this is not okay. I really, looking up close at everything now, I really enjoyed this blush palette. I am going to use the highlighter that comes with this on one side. And then I'll use the Tom Ford one on the other. Because there's the highlighter in the palette. And she's pretty. If this focuses, this right here. Hopefully I probably do some color correction in post because this I feel like I'm washed out. Hello? We don't want that for me. We don't want that for me. Anyway, I think the Emily character deserves someone like Benji. Like I said, I think the Benji character is kind of like a while I'm talking about that, I'm gonna highlight my nose with this highlighter. And then I can't wait to put it on my cheeks. Like the people that tolerate him are people that want to social climb, like Emily, and she got what she deserved in the end. Like I feel like a lot of people don't like Elon Musk; they just tolerate him because he has money and they want part of that. There's nobody I know personally because I have good morals that likes him. Because he was just a Justin did a good job because every time he was on screen I was like, oh my god, get him away from this screen. But people like him, they just throw money around, and the way every time he said something people were just like, ugh, it was just like gibberish. And when he says things it's just so incoherent and we're just like, actually just shut up. We do not care. Shut up. You're upsetting me and my homegirls. Shut it up. So so I'm gonna set one part, and then we're gonna come back and talk about Sasha. I don't know which one is strawberry fizz and which one is chai. I think strawberry fizz is the highlighter. It looks like a highlight. It would be called strawberry fizz. So Sasha, I feel like the way they talked about her, introduced her, was giving us. Oh, this is like pink. I don't know why I thought it would have like a gold shift, but anyway, whatever. The way they introduced her to me, it felt like it was kind of like a Beyonce presence. She don't talk to us. She's private. We see her when she wants us to see her. Um, and Beyonce don't talk to us. She don't give us interviews, rightfully so, because y'all are weird people. The people are weird. Okay, not y'all, but the people are weird. And I thought that was the way it was. That's the way I perceived it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I wonder what it's gonna be like. And then I thought once Andy secured the interview, I thought she was going to be the one to do the interview. And I thought the interview was going to be very deep. I'm going somewhere with this. I thought because we already know, and Andy's already established as someone that has good morals and the type of story that she wants to tell. One, I thought she would be the one to do the interview. Two, I thought the interview was going to have depth. And when I say depth, I thought the interview was going to have depth in a way where we're going to get juicy things, but not in a way where it's like gossip, like something juicy. Like she was going to ask really good questions because of the way they described Sasha's character. I thought she was going to ask really really, and I feel like if she was the one doing the interview, she would have asked that. But it ended up being like a beautiful photo op, and they asked her basic questions. I was just like, I thought where they were gonna go with the Sasha character and Andy doing the interview, because I thought she would be the one to do it because she secured it, and now what's her name is happy. um I thought once Andy did the interview, it was going to be such a good story, such a good interview that would bring like, it will have buzz online for weeks when it goes live, right? And it will bring new readers in to still want to buy Runway and or subscribe to Runway Digital, because I thought they were going to tap into that because that's where magazines are at now. Like, come on. Anyway, like they showed a little bit of that, but I thought, like, y'all are a magazine. You still act like people are going to buy a bunch. People are subscribing. There's still older readers. Like my mom still gets magazines. I get magazines because pictures for my vision boards. That's why I still get them. And I read articles because I still read a blog. My anyway, um, but I think I'm done with this. This is the Tom Ford highlighter. And I'm trying to see. I think I like the Givenchy one better. This is like clinging onto my dry patches. Am I gonna return this now? Because I like the color. But I feel like I like the hooded one better. Let me just blend more. I will say, out of all the Tom Ford highlighters I own, this is my least favorite. But I still like it. Does that make sense? Anyway, um, let's close that. This is okay. I like it, but it's okay. It's not wowing me. But I do. This is a win. She's a winner. Let's do some lips. Can I make y'all laugh? Look at my Fenty lip liner. Anyway, I'm going to use my Makeup Forever Dimensional Dark Brown. Limitless Brown is too light for my like, it barely shows up. It's kind of like the way y'all love Chestnut and the way y'all love Limitless Brown. It's too, my complexion is deeper than what those liners could do for me. Anyway, before I finish my lips and all that, I want to finish talking about how I thought it was gonna go digital, bring new readers in, and people are going to be so excited about this piece of story that she did because the interview was so good that people, more celebrities that are more private, if they wanted to do an interview, that's the person they would want to tell their story because it would have been so good because of the way Andy writes stories. Because we see that she cares about whatever she's talking about and people she's talking about. And when it's not a celebrity, because of this kind of piece, whatever it is she's talking about, people will still care. So when, like, I just feel like, oh, she's talking about the cancer research because they know this writer has great interviews. She asks great questions. Whatever else she's writing about, they're going to care about, thus caring about Runway again, whether you're buying the magazine or whether you are reading it digitally if you're subscribed to Runway. But no, it was a bunch of surface level bullshit question and it was very shallow. And I was just like, oh my God. I was really upset. Anyway, this movie was very cookie cutter, like Save the Cat. If you don't know what Save the Cat is kind of like a 15 beat plot. Is that how I want to call it? Yeah, like a structure. It's a worksheet. I've done one before, but I'm writing a show, so the Save the Cat worksheet, well, workbook that I did, that's for movies, and that's what this is. So you have basically a protagonist, basically Andy. Be like her, she's likable. We're rooting for her in all that she's doing. There is like Save the Cat metaphorically, I would say it's like something bad happens. Um, so the cat is on a tree. That's something bad, and um, everything seems at a loss. How are we gonna get this cat down? Do we have to call the fire department? Do I have to climb the tree myself? All of that is like all is lost. Cat is on a tree. She's trying to figure out how she's going to get it done. We're trying to figure out how we're going to save the cat from the tree. We're rooting for her to save this cat from the tree. We're rooting for her to get whatever it is that, whatever the protagonist is trying to accomplish. We're rooting for them. We want them to win. We want them to save the cat, basically. So that's oversimplification. But there was nothing to the story. I was so upset. Y'all know I'm smiling. Like in this movie, what do you remember from the movie if you've seen it? What quotes do you remember? The first movie was so quotable. This is just. I thought a lot of the cameos that we saw were. I really liked the cameos. They were really cool. It was just a lot of things that I was like, oh, they're leaning social. Oh, they're not leaning social. They just wanted to show that these are our influences now. Um, she achieved her goal, but I feel like we would have cared about Sasha being the one to save this magazine. Why we didn't get an established character to why she would want to buy this? Because she got money? Because that's all y'all told us in the basic ass uh interview. She has money, and then in the end she has so much money that she's coming to save you as a magazine or as a company. You've spoken to her once. Why would she care about you that much? You didn't ask her questions that actually make people want to like her more and like her less to want to care about your magazine to buy it. They put her there just to say, oh, we interviewed this really rich person earlier in the show or earlier in the movie. She's going to come back to save us. It could have been done more. Her character could have been done justice. But I felt like the movie doesn't have any cultural moments. It didn't give us any fashion moment. It didn't give us any, like, the movie, obviously. It's just like, I don't know. I was gonna say we didn't need this movie, but do we need any movie? I mean, yes, we do for art, culture, learning, theater. We need the arts. I love the arts. My job is part of the arts. But I just thought No. Emily ended the way she ended in the first movie, kind of. There was just out of all the gloss that I picked up, I have I think I've tried no. I think I tried th- what did I try? I tried one of them and it was one of the maybe I should use this. The shiny one. This is Invincible. I don't know, y'all. I like this applicator. No, I need a little more color. What I was going to say was it doesn't feel chunky. It does feel like the Rare Beauty one, so I'm happy about that. Um, but if you've enjoyed this video and me just yapping, I am gonna try to introduce more fashion into my channel here because I'm reviving my blog. I'm trying to do a lot behind the scenes and then make sure I bring it to the channel. I have like really, really good. What's the word I'm trying to find? Just things that I want to bring to the channel. So I'm really excited about that. But tell me what you thought about the movie. If you really liked it, I'm not here to yuck your yum. I just didn't like it. I thought it was very okay. You know what movie was great to me? Michael. I can't wait to go see it again. And I am a go to see the movie again and again person. TV shows or rewatching a lot of shows. This is why I think I also feel this way about this movie. It was such a comfort show for me. Like, I mean, movie. I keep saying show. It was such a comfort movie for me. I know I mentioned it earlier, but like before Black Panther came out, this was just the movie I put on for anything. And I don't rewatch movies like that, like at home. Avenger movies, any Marvel movie, any movie I like a lot, I would go see it again, especially if I see it myself. Now I always go see it like again with my brother. I enjoy going to the movies by myself. I enjoy it a lot. And I have AMC A list, so I go to movies all the time. But at home for a movie, that was the one I just put on. And then when Black Panther came out, it was the one I put on. I don't like that that's doing that though. Anyway, um, it got to a point where I couldn't watch Black Panther anymore because Chadwick Boseman passed away, and I just could not. I don't like that my lip gloss is doing this. Hmm. I don't like that. I like the color, and I do know the color looks darker because maybe let me apply more. I feel like in the same color of this in Huda Beauty, it gives more of a pigmented color payoff. But to be fair, my lip lining was darker. And if you always want that pink or peach to show through, whenever you wear something, always use like a lipstick first, like a liquid lipstick. I think maybe I just have this too much in the center. Maybe. But anyway, so comfort movies that I will watch because I won't really watch any other thing. And I just don't think I would even care to revisit this second movie. There was no moment for me. There was no moment that I care about. I'm so upset about that. I think we should put lashes on. Let's do it. The lashes I'm gonna use is from House of Lashes, and this is the feline collection. This is called Kitty Cat. Looks like this. There we go. I think that's all the things I wanted to say about the movie. What did y'all think? If you like it more than me, let me know why you liked it, what you loved. Um, I just instead of giving this is what I think. Instead of giving Andy a boyfriend, they could have shown us more of her and Lily's relationship. That could have been like The friendship, we just needed to see her be with her friends, hang out with her friends. Everything ain't about a man. She didn't need to have one. It's fine that she did. But what's his name? Peter? Paul? He didn't add anything that I feel like could have added to the story in the story that they were telling. I thought it would. I thought introducing him would be like, oh, he's, I don't know. When we saw that she was gonna have someone, I thought it was gonna be someone like within the company, and maybe that would have been the moral issue. But yeah, they said we just gonna give Andy a man. And like I said, her having the boyfriend is not the issue. It just didn't, y'all. This movie, out of a 10, I would say it was like a, I don't care if you think I'm being harsh. I think it was like a 4 or a 3 for me personally. Because movies are subjective. Because movies are art, and art is subjective. Just want to say that. In case you love this movie and you about to be mad at me. That's on you. Huh, don't be mad at me. We putting lashes on. Hold on. And I know I'm not the only one that feels this way because when my brother went to go see it and we were talking about it, he was like, I mean, it was alright. Because usually when he likes a movie or when he hates a movie, he really wants to talk about it. My other coworkers too, we were discussing it, and a lot of them felt the same way I felt. One of my coworkers, he really, really, really loved it, and I just was like, mm-mm. I think because, like I said, the first movie is just like, I don't know, and I never expect any sequels to be perfect, but this wasn't it. Cause no, and like I said, who am I? I'm just a girl on YouTube that nobody knows. These are people with the jobs. These are people in the writer's room doing what they gotta do. So I'm just giving my opinion. And you know, when I was younger, if I had known being a movie critic, like a legit movie critic was a job, that's what I would have gone to school for that. For media and communications. But no, I'm just doing what I'm doing. I want to be an actress. Think we can do one more spray of, or another spray of setting spray, and then do bottom lashes. Oh no, child, because my brows is going through it. It's just not a good brow day for me, y'all. I want y'all to be able to see the brows. Because sometimes it's too much light on my sides, so it kind of cuts off. So just, my brows are really dark. That's the only thing I think I don't like about my makeup. I like everything else. I love everything else, actually. The highlighter. Wait. Love this highlighter. I think this highlighter is okay. It just emphasized the texture here. The way bottom lash makes a difference. Look at that. My gorgeous people. This is it. This is the end. I know this video was long. I hope you're still here. Like the video, hype me up, and you see me in the next one. Hopefully, it's real soon. I'm gonna have a good schedule for the rest of May. It's gonna be great. I hope you have an amazing day whenever you're watching this, morning, night, whenever, and you see me in the next one.